Welcome back to the channel. What happens to a fishing guide when his boat is taken away? Stay tuned to find out. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. I don't know how you people do it when you go boatless. As you can see, sitting here in my carport, no boat, no water, so I gotta fish from this bucket. I'm going crazy. Alright, let's have a fireside chat. Well, it's too hot for a fire, but it's hot enough to be like a fire, so we'll still call it a fireside chat. But anyways, as you can see, no more boat. It's in the shop, getting cleaned up, made pretty, so that I can sell it and get another one. What does that mean? I'm in the market for a new one. So let's talk boats. If you've been under a rock and you've not been paying attention to boat prices lately, well, let's just say our world has gone insane. Bass boats right now start normally around $75,000, $85,000 and go way on up past $100,000. That is just crazy, people. As a very busy guide, I just cannot justify paying that kind of money on a new bass boat. So I'm considering different alternatives, and let's talk about those alternatives. First off, I'm not sure going a fiberglass boat is the path I want to take any longer. If you're an owner of a fiberglass boat, you know what it takes to keep that thing looking cherry. And if you're a busy guide or you're using that boat as often as I do, you're going to put a little scratches and scrapes and rubs and nicks on a boat. Plain and simple. All you guys out there that got a pristine cherry boat, let's be honest, you don't fish enough. Because if you fish enough, there's no way you can keep that boat looking as cherry as some of you guys out there polishing on a daily basis. That just doesn't happen. You're polishing and you're not fishing. So let's get that, put that to the side. So where does that leave me? As a guide who wants to keep a boat in service for many, many years and not have to go through the process of constantly fixing the fiberglass scratches, I've decided it's time to go aluminum. Aluminum boats have many pros that we'll talk about right now. One of them being price point. Most aluminum boats you're going to get into for a fraction of the cost of what you'll get into a fiberglass. Now, even aluminum boats have gotten more pricey. A fully rigged out aluminum right now is pushing $65,000 to $70,000. That's significantly better than $100,000. And as a busy guide who runs a business, all those costs matter. Hey, if you enjoy this content, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Also, like and share this content. It helps the video get out to more people. Let's get back to the video. Now, as a business, I have to constantly factor in costs. So something that's $20,000 more a year or in total affects the bottom line of my business. So I have to look at taking an aluminum boat instead of a fiberglass boat out for cost benefit. The other thing is fiberglass is constantly scratching. So from a durability standpoint, I'm really leaning to that aluminum. Now chime in if you guys think otherwise. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. You know, especially you people who run aluminums now. But there's a big push in the aluminum market, and it's not going to supplant the fiberglass market, but it's starting to make a push for all these reasons. Expense, durability. With an aluminum, if the bottom scratches or you bump something, you know, you might scratch the paint a little, you use a little touch-up paint, but you don't go through the whole process of having to patch that fiberglass. And if you're using gel, a metal flake on your fiberglass, which 98% of boats bass boats have is metal flake. Trying to match that is really difficult, which means that if you do have to repair it, you got to be down a week, 2 weeks. I'm down 3 weeks trying to get all these repairs done. It's gonna look cherry when I'm done, but as a busy guide, I don't have the ability to go off the water for 2 weeks at a time. So longevity of a boat, that metal boat's just going to last. You're going to be able to put it through the paces that you can't put a fiberglass boat. Now I can hear it now. You guys are saying, well, you know, an aluminum doesn't quite look as good as a fiberglass, or it doesn't ride as good as a fiberglass. A lot of these aluminum manufacturers have really stepped up their game. A lot of these manufacturers foam infuse their boats, so you reduce all that sound effect, the slapping of the water that aluminums are notorious for. You're deadening that sound with that foam injection. So they've come a long way with hull design, foam injection, and they rig them out just like your top of the line bass boat. So you're not taking a hit as far as accessorizing an aluminum. You can have all the exact same items you would have on that fiberglass boat. So from a busy guide business, I'm heavily leaning to that aluminum. Now let's talk about some of the aluminums I'm looking into. There's one brand in particular that I feel like I've narrowed it down to. And I'm thinking about buying 2 boats. See, for the price of one top of the line fiberglass boat, I can buy 2 aluminum boats. And that way I can always have a spare, or I can have a bigger boat to go to for bigger trips to accommodate more people. So let's talk about the 2 boats I'm looking at. The brand I'm looking at is Avid. Now, there are several other brands out there, Express, Pressliner, but I'm looking at their lineup, and the Avid brand has taken design of an aluminum boat to the next level. All these other aluminum manufacturers, they look like an aluminum boat, but the Avid boats, people have designed a boat that looks almost like a fiberglass. It's hard to tell the difference. So on the one hand, I'm looking at the Avid 20XB. That's your bass boat version. That's for my basic trips of 1 to 2 people when we want to get serious and want to go heavy duty bass fishing. The other boat is the Avid 23FS. That's a center console bay boat style, but laid out like a bass boat. It'll draft shallow, but it'll just accommodate more people. It will hold 8 people, and it seats 6 to 8 all sat in chairs. Unlike a bass boat that'll hold 3, me plus 2. And if I throw a cushion on the front deck, that holds me a 3rd person. But I'm looking for that ability to accommodate more people on my trips. So I'm looking for getting a center console as my bigger, badder boat. So that way I can start taking 4 people out fishing at a time, even reintroduce my scenic tours option, where we travel around the lakes, fish a little bit, but see the sights. And that bigger boat will allow me to do that. And I can buy these 2 boats for almost the same price as your top of the line Vexus, Icon, all these crazy price 120,000 to 140,000 boats. I don't know how you guys do that kind of price. And even if you can afford it, chances are you shouldn't afford it, because that's way too much money to be spending on bass fishing if you're doing it like we do. If you have the money to kill, and money's no object for you, and you take a boat out once a month and you get a little scratch on your brand new Icon, well, guess what? Have fun repairing that thing and keeping that thing cherry. But for us working men who hit the water on a daily basis, there's just no justification for a $120,000 boat. I'm sorry, that just makes no sense to me. So I'm looking at these $50,000 to $65,000 range boats, and then I can buy 2. And on top of that, what I'm going to be doing is looking at some barely used boats, maybe 1 year used with only 20 hours on the motor. You know, that still gives me 5 years warranty. So I can get into a brand new 20XB Avid for around $50,000 used, and that is loaded to the gills with all the stuff that I have on my boat right now. And then I can get that secondary boat, the Avid 23FS, for around $60,000. So I'm 110 all in. Guess what? That's 2 boats. And I can justify having 2 boats that I'm making money full-time guiding. So let's be honest. As a busy guide, I need a boat that's bomb-proof. I know that a lot of you guys out there have those really fancy cherry-looking boats. But as a business, I need something that will withstand a beating. I mean, I got customers on board. A lot of them are novices. Let's just say their casting skills aren't precise. I get some of them to slap my boat, ding my boat, scratch my boat. So I need something that will take a beating. And in my opinion, you can't do any better than metal. Metal is meant to sustain a beating like that. That's why we use metal. So going forward, I don't know if I can stay in the fiberglass market. I really believe I got to get into aluminum. Now, hit me up. Let me know. Give me some other options. Tell me what you think. But I really am about to move on some of these boats within the next week. So I would love to hear your input. Until then, tight lines.